like epic dramas with continuously unfolding layers of skillful characterization? Do you like the natural world? Beautiful, poetic-like descriptions of trees? Are you interested in the stories of people who are fierce and undeterred? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you may love The Overstory by Richard Powers. My name is Boston. I'm with Missouri City Branch Library, which is part of Fort Bend County Libraries in Fort Bend County, Texas. Welcome to your very own book talk about Richard Powers' 12th novel, The Overstory. Wikipedia says The Overstory was shortlisted for the 2018 Man Booker Prize, was a 2019 PEN Faulkner Award finalist, and won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 2019, among other awards. Should we trust Wikipedia? Check out Fort Bend County Library's video on how to use Wikipedia the right way. Back to our book. The novel is divided into 4 sections titled Roots, Trunk, Crown, and Seeds. Rather than one centralized narrative, the plot is driven by the storylines of 9 different characters. Nicholas Hole is an artist whose primary focus is the sketching of trees. The novel opens with his great-great-great-grandfather, a Norwegian man who arrives in America by way of Brooklyn and proposes to an Irish girl one night after a feast of roasted chestnuts. 6 chestnuts are planted in the whole Iowa farm soil and one survives, witnessing the whole family live and die throughout the generations. Mimi Ma is stubborn and precise. She's the oldest daughter of a man granted a visa in 1948 to further his studies in engineering. In childhood, Mimi and her sister share a mulberry tree outside their breakfast window. As an adult, Mimi and her coworkers share a pine tree outside her office window. One day, Mimi looks outside that office window and the pine is gone. As she approaches its stump, she finds a man marking dates along the perimeter of its rings. Adam Appich paints ants with nail polish to study their behavior around the same time he throws his small body in a hole intended for a black walnut tree meant to mark his brother's life. As a doctoral student in psychology, Adam climbs a tree to interview 2 tree sitters and gains the kind of clarity that mobilizes a person to take actions that will affect his future and the future of his family for generations to come. Douglas Pavlicek enlists in the service, admitting the war is over and the situation hopeless. While running resupply missions, his plane is hit, explodes, and Douglas falls into a centuries-old fig tree, which saves his life. He goes home to find low-paying work planting seeds and discovers, with the help of a trusty librarian, that the seeds he plants only increase the annual allowable cut. When the city cuts down a beautiful pine in the middle of the night, Douglas marks the rings of the stump with historical dates that precede anyone alive who decided to cut that great pine down. Patricia Westerford spends her childhood growing aware of trees. In college, her forestry studies say a forest floor must be cleared for optimal forest health, but that doesn't seem right to her. During postdoc work, Dr. Pat Westerford discovers that trees communicate with each other, but the respected men of established forestry management publish a rebuttal to her work, discrediting her and rendering her unemployable. Years later, she stumbles upon some scientists who tell her, "You'll want to learn what your work's been up to while you were gone." Olivia Vandergriff declares her major is actuarial science, which she interprets as the cash value of death. 3 years later, she reaches to unplug a lamp and the whole current of the house's electricity rolls through her body. When her heart restarts, she's imbued with the awareness of wondrous beings. These beings have an intention for her, and her willingness to follow this intention places her within the ferns of forest floors, at the tops of magnificent trees, and before any of that, in Nicholas Hole's driveway, looking for tree art. The overstory of a forest is what you'd see if you were flying over the forest, peering down at the trees, and Richard Powers tries to give us that same awesome view in his novel. I highly recommend The Overstory by Richard Powers. It's rich and skillful in its craftsmanship, and like our character Adam Appich says, it's a good story. Powers asks us to consider the actions humans have taken in defiance against our own best interests, but he does so in a way that's so engaging and immersive you'll look up and realize you're already in the thick of it before you've had the chance to consider whether or not you were willing. If you like The Overstory, you may also like Hollow Kingdom by Kira Jane Buxton, Greenwood by Michael Christie, Prodigal Summer by Barbara Kingsolver, The History of Bees by Maja Lund, and Second Nature by Nathaniel Rich. And did you know you can go to Fort Bend County Library's website to gain access to our databases, one of which, Novelist Plus, We'll offer you read-alike suggestions for any other book you enjoy. Those library cards are handy.